How much money should an athlete earn for the amount of work they put into training, into winning, into taking physical risks? Endless arguments and negotiations over athlete pay has been a mainstay of modern sports, and the UFC has not been immune from this tension. In a career that puts fighters at incredible risk of permanent physical harm, it seems obvious that the compensation should be higher than for other less risky sports. But that often isn't the case for a large portion of combat athletes, especially in the UFC. This discrepancy between the highest paid and least paid UFC fighters appears to be directly related to how they spend their ever-expanding wealth. Only a small group of fighters are big spenders, buying lavish houses, expensive cars, and fancy tech. The rest earn just enough to put their money behind their passions. Dustin Poirier, the one-time UFC interim lightweight champion and current number 2 in the UFC lightweight rankings, is the perfect example of one such fighter. One of the UFC's top stars and a household name in the MMA community, Poirier's pay has been a topic of discussion over the years, as he doesn't seem to get nearly the same compensation as a quote bankable star like Conor McGregor or Khabib Nurmagomedov. Despite this, Poirier has managed to create a small empire with his money that reflects more about his morals and his generous heart than it does his wealth and skill. Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we find out how Dustin Poirier spends his millions. Dustin Poirier has fought for the UFC since 2011, and in that time, like many fighters, he has exponentially grown his fight purses as his name has become more recognizable. His earliest payouts hovered in the 4 or 5 figure range, but it didn't take long for his pay to increase to 6 figures. His first 6-figure purse against Bobby Green was $125,000. His latest and largest purse came from his most recent victory against Dan Hooker, netting him a neat $370,000. Along with payouts from the UFC's major sponsor, Reebok, Poirier has also been sponsored by Tomahawk Rentals. Poirier is no stranger to fight night bonuses, winning multiple Performance of the Night, Fight of the Night, and Submission of the Night bonuses at $50,000 each. In 2013, he received $2,500 from his opponent Diego Brandao for missing weight. In 2015, he received $4,200 from Yancy Medeiros for the same reason. While estimates online often state Poirier's net worth at $2 million, at latest count it's probably just shy of $3 million. So how does Dustin Poirier spend his money? Poirier has publicly stated that he gets uncomfortable with the involvement of the fans in discussion of UFC fighter pay. While he understands the concerns about underpayment, especially among new and young fighters just getting started, he also worries about the gossip and the scrutiny it places over what he feels should be private information. As such, details about Poirier's home and possessions are mostly undisclosed, but he does have one collection of expensive toys that he's particularly proud of: his cars. The high-end collection includes a Rolls-Royce Ghost, Cadillac CT6, Ferrari 458 Italia, and other luxury vehicles. One thing Poirier is not private about is his charity, the Good Fight Foundation. Drawing inspiration from his hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana, Poirier was looking for a way to give back to his community. In the midst of moving to a new house, Dustin and his wife realized that he had a lot of memorabilia from his many fights, too much to carry with them into their future life. They decided to auction off the pieces of fight memorabilia and donate the money to a local food bank. This first gesture paid for 3,000 meals and was such a success that they continued to auction off pieces and started their own nonprofit. Following his example, other fighters began donating their memorabilia to the Poirier family to be auctioned, and this money has funded multiple community initiatives in Lafayette and beyond. The good fight is Poirier's passion. Over the years, the foundation has raised money for incredible projects, such as helping the homeless, donating meals for first responders during the COVID pandemic, playgrounds for special needs schools, and even partnering with another charity to bring clean water to areas of Uganda. Famously, after his defeat at the hands of Khabib Nurmagomedov in 2019, Khabib swapped shirts with Poirier in a gesture of respect so that Poirier could auction the champion's gear for his charity.
What did it mean at the end when Khabib did swap shirts with you, just to show, because he's never done that before, to show the respect to another fighter? He obviously holds you in such high regard.
Yeah, it's an honor, man. He's the champ. He's a very respectful guy. He wanted me to auction his shirt for my charity. That's why he gave it to me, and that's what we're gonna do.
Dana White matched the donations from this fight, making an overall total of $200,000 raised to give clean water to an orphanage and school for the Batwa Pygmy children in Uganda. In June of 2020, Poirier received an award for his charity work, the Forrest Griffin Community Award, bestowed upon him by the UFC. Athletes of all kinds get paid to entertain through great physical skill. In the world of combat sports, that entertainment comes with equally great physical risk. The question of how much someone should be compensated for that risk will always be fluid, constantly changing based on the opinions of the public and pundits over time. For Dustin Poirier, the argument seems to be moot. He doesn't care whether fans think he's underpaid. He has famously refused fights he felt were not fairly compensated, but he also does his job regardless, knowing that whatever he makes, it can contribute to the greater good of his community and the world. Dustin Poirier might not be the highest paid MMA fighter in the world, but history will likely remember him as one of the most generous. And for thousands of people touched by his example, he will be the most life-changing and the most beloved. What do you think of Dustin Poirier? Comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.